I'm going to do a meatloaf recipe that is 100% carnivore and 100% dairy free. Welcome to the channel. I had this idea over the weekend when I decided to use a slow cooker and make this, put some ground beef that I didn't chop up in there, but it whole, and some bacon. And when I had that for a meal over the weekend, it tasted, man, I said, this is just like meatloaf. And it gave me this idea for this carnivore meatloaf recipe that's going to be so simple, and it's 100% carnivore, and I'm going to make it 100% dairy free because for me, I have to stay away from cheese for a while because it's hindered my journey and I do have inflammation flare-ups. So let's get started. All right, we have our ingredients right here. We have 2 pounds of ground beef, 1 cup of pork planko, 2 large eggs, and a teaspoon of salt. I could use more. You could use more salt, but with the pork planko, we usually have plenty of sodium in that. So I'm just going to do a teaspoon of salt. So let's go ahead and we'll get the ingredients mixed together. I had to use gloves, otherwise it can be messy. If what we're going to do is we're going to mix the ingredients all together. All right, all the ingredients are there. We're gonna mix this thoroughly. Just get everything mixed up, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this a loaf. I don't know if most of you all know that every morning Dr. Kiltz has a video every morning live, and it's really highly suggest. I suggest you to go to it. It's called Carnivore Conversations. He has a lot of guest speakers. Some of them are just fellow carnivore people that share their testimony. Yesterday was a really good one. So if you're type 1 diabetic, I highly suggest to go to Dutch Carnivore's channel. He shares his journey about how he manages his type 1 diabetes and being on carnivore. Dr. Kiltz has a lot of good info. Many different doctors on there that he guest speakers throughout the world comes on there, has good tips. And I highly suggest you go every morning. If you want to wake up, depends on where you are, part of the world. Where I'm at, they're on the East Coast, so it goes live at 5 Eastern Standard Time. But for me, it's about 4 a.m. But it is worth getting up to go watch that every morning, because there's a lot of helpful tips. There's a lot of people that shares their journey on there, and it's really good. And I've been doing that for 2 weeks. And another good suggestion that I always will make is you want to find a community. And there's three communities I'm part of. 2 of them don't cost money. One of them is Carnivore Quest Community on Facebook. Great husband and wife team. Their journey, they shared their journey from day one. They shared their struggles. They shared their tips. They share their success. And they have a Facebook community page. There's another one that I just joined. It's called Kiltz Mighty Tribe. Doesn't cost anything, and there's a good tips, because I think it's very important when you are going to a proper human diet, and especially because you may not get the support. You may not get that support that with your family and friends as you would with a community out there. And then the third one that I'm part of, which is about $30 a month, is called healinghumanity.life. It is very good. It does cost $30, but I think it's well worth it to be part of the community. So you can stay in check. 2, you can be held accountable and hold others accountable. But 3, most of all, you get that 100% support that you may not get at home or out there at work or school, wherever your environment is, because there's a lot going on in this world. And sometimes, you get in this world and, we make this drastic change to better ourselves, but they call us crazy because you're going to have a heart attack. What about your cholesterol? What about this? What about that? Well, I'm looking forward next Monday. I get to see my heart doctor because last time I saw him 2 years ago, I was 330 pounds. I was having inflammation issues, beginning of that. I was on ketovore, but yet all the weight that I lost was slowly gaining back. And now, since I feel better at 46 than I did in my 20s, I'm looking forward to, because like now when I started on blood pressure medicine, I was at 10 milligrams. Then as I lost the weight in 21, my blood pressure dropped and I was on keto, and the doctor suggested to go to 5 milligrams, and I've been on 5 milligrams from 2021. Well, I really could be off the medicine. I probably will be off the medicine, but I decided to suggest to my current doctor. He asked what I want to do, and I told him I would like to do the to like knock it down in half, cut it in half to 2.5, and let's review this 6 months in the spring. This was in October. Well, every morning I get up, I have a journal. This is why it's important to journal, is because you want to make sure you track everything and struggles, whatever it is. And the one thing that why I do this is because I want to track my progress. I want to track to make sure my blood pressure, if it's keep on dropping, like this morning I checked it, it was 105/61. And this is telling me that my blood pressure is in a good range, that I don't think I need the medicine. And the reason why I choose this diet is, one, the inflammation is just going away. Each day goes by, even though my hip is not 100%, I'm sure it's probably damaged in something. It could be just a lot of arthritis built up, and it's going to take time. It may take time for me to stretch and strengthen. I got to do a lot of that because I hadn't done that a lot. And 2025 this year is the one thing that I want to make sure is I want to get out and move. I mean, right now I'd love to get outside, but here in Missouri, I guess winter decided to come back with another big Arctic blast, which is like 1 degree outside this morning. It's going to be extremely cold, the wind chill. I love to get out and walk. I love to get out. And when it's this cold, nobody wants to get out. So my suggestion, and I'm guilty of this, I'm a big hypocrite of this, because I think strengthening, stretching, moving is good. And it's good to do some moving. My thing is I get my exercise through work. I at least get minimum of 6,000 steps a day where I work at, sometimes even more. And, but when I'm at home, when I'm relaxing, I should be doing something. So, and some things I'm guilty of, and this is where I'm going to improve, is like I'm going to try to stretch more. I'm going to try to move more. And I'm looking forward, as soon as that temperature starts breaking and it's warming up, I'm going to get outside. I'm looking forward to spring. I'm looking forward to adventure this year. I'm looking forward to getting out and working the land, getting out to convert this land I am to kind of a small homestead. I'm battling back and forth. I have raised beds that I made where I have had a garden, but unfortunately, that being on carnivore, I thought about doing certain planting certain plants for like maybe a couple tomato plants, couple cucumbers, and some zucchini, and that's about it. Which I won't eat the basil, but plant the companion plants with them to keep the deterrents away. But then it dawned on me. I say, I've been battling. It's like, plants got these poison toxins. Some's got high in oxalates, which is like a crystallized thing. Some's got these lectins, and it affects your gut health and it affects everything. And I learned a new one yesterday. I can't pronounce it very well. I think it's spelled Goiten, Gotertin, and depends on who it is. People could be highly sensitive to this, to sensitive to this chemical that's in plants, and it can affect your thyroid. It can affect your pancreas. It can affect your organs in your body, and it really gave me a lot of thoughts. Do I really want to do this? Do I want to eat plants within season? Is it going to harm me? I know I eat a little bit in like sauces or mustard and stuff like that every now and then, but do I really want to? I'm undoing everything that was done to oxalants and on the unhealthy way of eating, and eating this plant-based diet, and then the American Standard Diet in the past 40 years, 30 years. And so, do I want to go there? So I've been battling, but one thing I want to do is convert this land into a homestead. Now, I would love to raise cattle, but I have 25 acres I have good use for, but it's not enough to turn cattle. If I had another 25 to 50 acres, it would have been great. I can turn this into a farm. I've been battling about, I wanted to get back. I used to go horseback riding. I love riding horses. I miss it. But, with the costs and stuff these days, that part I don't miss. And I've been battling on that. So I may get back into horses. My parents had horses. My dad loved to ride horses. He rode horses for 50 years before he retired in his old age, about 10 years ago. So I would love to go back horseback riding, but right now with everything, the cost is so high, and I'd rather get my debt paid off. So some of the other ideas I wanted to do is, and if anybody, wants to research this, I highly suggest to go research Joe Salatin. He has an awesome concept how to rotate with ruminant animals, and if you have smaller acreage, one of the good things would be is sheep. So I thought about getting sheep, and rotate throughout on the land. And then the other side, which is my mother's side property that I have use for, my neighbors can hay it. And I just need very little hay for a few sheep. And I thought about, wanted to raise my own chickens, raise some chickens for butchering, and that also raise for chicken eggs. So I've been doing a lot of serious thinking, and I assume when it gets warmed up in the spring, I might go out and do a video and show you the land and tell you what I want to do to the future plans. But let's get back this meatloaf. I got it mixed really well, so let's get it in the crock pot. So what we need to do, got the crock pot here. We're gonna put this in the crock pot. Now you can put this in the oven for 350 for about, I say a half hour to an hour, and then I'll link the description down below to do the oven. But the idea why I'm doing this in the slow cooker was from the idea that I mentioned in the beginning of the video about the burger that I made, kind of just left it into like a loaf type thing and put it into the crock pot with bacon. So now I'm gonna get this in the crock pot, and we're gonna put it on low. We're gonna do it for about 4 to 5 hours. Now I'm gonna use parchment paper because it could easily fall apart when we try to get it out. With the parchment paper, it's gonna be a lot easier. So I got to get some parchment paper. That way we can line it, not only that it be lined, but we can use that parchment paper to get it out of the slow cooker. And the one thing about the beef is I always want to use at least 80-20. Fattier the better, because you could use the leaner ground beef, like 85. 85 is okay, but like 90 and above, where it's more lean, I think it's better to do the fattier the better, because the one thing about the fatty meat is that's your fuel, and that's where you get your sensation that you're full and that your body. Because the one thing about our bodies is, we were always told, we need carbs, and the two types of fuel is fat in carbs. Well, the one thing about carbs is we have to turn the carbs into a sugar. The sugar has to be converted to fat, because the main fuel that our bodies run on is fat. It doesn't run off of carbs or sugar. And the one thing about also we have to remember, protein also glycates. So all that has to glycate, turn to sugar in our liver, and we have to convert it through insulin, a hormone called insulin that is produced in our pancreas. And it converts it to fat to store it on our body so we can have the fuel. So fattier the better. Also, I feel that I do better when I am having fattier meat than I am leaner meat. So a lot of times, if I am cooking leaner meat, I'm always going to add it with some fat, or I'm going to add it with bacon, or I'm going to eat it with eggs, or I'm going to eat it with bacon. Whatever it is, it's going to have something that's fatty. And I'm also so also with eating leaner meats, you are going to have to convert that, and it's good. We need protein. We need that. Our bodies will have to run on protein, but also we need that fat for fuel. That's how we stay longer. Like, I've been eating a lot more fattier meat because the meat that I am eating it helps me stay on almond, and where I eat until I'm full, and I eat almonds. So now we got this in the crock pot. So we are going to put it on low, and we're going to set it, and that's it. We'll come back about 4 to 5 hours, and we'll see how it turned out. All right, it's been about 4 to 5 hours since I had this in the crock pot. Let's check the temperature of this meatloaf, and let's get it out. All right, we got a good internal temperature around 150 to 160, so it's definitely ready to come out. All right. Oh, got a little juice here. Oh, the juice is going everywhere. All right, a little juicy there. Oh, yeah, we got a little grease going on. It went everywhere. It's one of the problems about the fatty meat. You're going to get a lot of render fat off of it, but still, fattier the better. All right. Now, most of your regular meatloaves usually have ketchup on it. There is a no sugar added ketchup. There's 2 different brands. Both of them I use. One of them's called Primal Kitchen. The other one is Heinz. You can put them on there. You can put it on there during that time, but I just gonna leave it off of it. And when I put it in there, I also put it about 3 strips of bacon to give that extra bacon. I love, where bacon doesn't go wrong with nothing with bacon. So, all right, let's cut. I'm gonna cut and see how this turned out. Whew, it's hot. Tastes pretty good. Tastes just like meatloaf. It's pretty good. I hadn't had meatloaf in a long time. Pretty good. Well, there you have it. Carnivore style meatloaf. Very simple. Pork rinds, 2 eggs, salt. You can put it in the oven. I'll link the strip down below. 350 for about an hour, or about 4 to 5 hours in the crock pot. Like always, let's be kind, let's be positive, have a good attitude, and encourage and support one another. You'll have a great day. God bless.